Hey guys, it's Ben from I'm Just a Fan, and today I'm going to be recapping last night's Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics ended up winning the game 106 to 88, and I'm also just going to be recapping the series. We're going to talk a little bit about Finals MVP and just kind of go from there. So yeah, stick around for the video and I hope you enjoy it. So kind of just getting into the game yesterday, it was about, honestly, as I expected it to go. I thought Dallas would have maybe been a little bit more competitive, but all the data showed going into this game that Dallas has really struggled to score in Boston in the first two games specifically. So I was a little worried to see how that was going to play out in Game 5. I also just, at least this is how I think about these situations when I see them in current day and like current time. Game 4 was an absolute blowout for Dallas. And they needed that game real bad. Honestly, looking back, like you would have expected a game like that from Dallas, because once you lose Game 3 at home, that team turns into desperation mode. Like, we can't get swept, especially at home. So I expected the Celtics to really, try to close this game out. They're at home. It's Game 5. We don't want to go back to Dallas. And that's exactly what happened. This game was close in the beginning, but it didn't last for long. Celtics slowly started to pull out the lead and just kind of kept going and slowly building it. By middle of that second quarter, we already had a decent lead established. I mean, even really at the end of the first quarter, but Dallas was still kind of cutting it back and forth and getting it a little shorter. But yeah, by the middle of that second quarter, really, it started to the lead started to grow slowly. And I think it all really just got capped off by that Pritchard half-court shot. I can't believe he hit another one, but it seems like that's his shot. I saw this somewhere on Instagram, and it really reminded me of this. The Celtics lost to Golden State and a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, and Poole hit a couple big shots. I'm not sure if they were half-court shots, but they were huge shots. And he hit them on the Celtics, and it's just kind of ironic that now Pritchard's hitting these shots. He's hit two of these shots before quarter ends in the series, and the Celtics end up winning the finals in 5, similar to the Warriors in 6. So I just thought that was a little interesting wrinkle of just like the whole series in general. But yeah, the third quarter, I mean, by that point, yeah, there was too big of a lead, and Dallas was just kind of forcing up shots that they really, not necessarily forcing up shots, but they had to score and they were feeling the pressure, and Boston felt in control of the game. There was a point where I wouldn't say Dallas is ever fully coming back, but they were still like that small, like, I don't know if anyone else felt like this watching the game. I definitely did, where I've seen this Boston team choke a lot of silly games away this year. So I was almost in the back of my head like, ooh, is this going to happen? But I think I really knew watching the game that Dallas did not deserve to win that game. Yes, they almost came back in that Game 3, but they dug themselves such a hole that they didn't really give themselves any time to come back. And that was what was similar to this game, except for they just couldn't get out of the hole. They dug themselves such a big hole with those shooting woes, and it just kind of, bit them in the ass. Like, let's be honest. I mean, we can go through some of the box score here. Like, these are some abysmal shooting numbers for some of these players for Dallas. Kyrie Irving, 15 points, 5 for 16. Luka, yes, he had 28 points, but he shot 12 for 25. And Kyrie was 3 for 9 on threes, and Luka was 2 for 9 for threes. Derek Jones, 1 for 4 on threes. PJ Washington, 0 for 5 on threes. Like, guys just weren't making shots. You somehow got 14 points off the bench from Green, but that was really about it. And I feel like that's just what sums up this series in general, is just that pretty much Dallas, they just met the worst absolute matchup that they could have had. And that's what I discussed in my finals video and like the preview when I did that, was Boston has so many people they can throw at this team. The one thing I didn't really fully consider, now having, hindsight's 2020, where I've seen the results now, but I don't know why I didn't think, you guard Kyrie and you guard Luka and you make it tough for them. Obviously, they're going to get theirs, but you make it tough, specifically on Kyrie. Who else is consistently shooting on this Dallas team and is going to be, shooting at a high clip? Nobody. You're living with PJ Washington shots. You're living with, Derek Jones 3-pointers. You're living with Kleba 3-pointers. Like, all this stuff ended up kind of just happening at the wrong time for Dallas. I got to give them credit. It was one hell of a run. But Dallas really met their match. And I think it really got exposed that, this team needs another scorer. Just needs someone that can be competent at scoring to keep them in games. Because the amount of times Luka would cut a lead to a short amount and then Boston just pulls away was a good amount. And that's just kind of how the series goes. But I think a lot of people, I had Boston in 6. I was even potentially leaning 7. I just really was expecting better, effort from the Mavs. But I really think this is more, honestly, just credit to, I keep saying Dallas, credit to Boston, because Boston has, again, so much of the talent and just the guys to guard Dallas that it just ended up being a pretty tough matchup for the Mavs. And, again, so I got to give credit to the Celtics, give credit to that front office, specifically Brad Stevens, getting Porzingis. I remember when that happened back, I don't remember exactly when it did, but I remember being like, oh, all right. I saw that and was like, this might be the last piece that the Celtics need, because they just had been, they've been teasing getting a big man for a long, long, long time, but they never did, an official big man. But they got Porzingis, and then I can't remember, honestly, I should have looked, but I didn't. I can't remember if they got Jrue after. I think they got Jrue after Porzingis, but I could be wrong. I talked about this a little bit before, but Jrue, getting him from Milwaukee, Milwaukee, the organization specifically has to be punching themselves in the face. The fact that they traded this guy to Boston, he ends up winning a championship. Milwaukee takes a step back. Dame isn't the guy that they thought he was going to be. You fire your first-year head coach. And now this guy, I don't know if this was technically the year, this first year counts, but he at least has a minimum of 3 to 4 years on this contract extension. I just don't remember exactly how long it is. They got Holiday for a bit now. You're just helping making the Celtics better. Because let's be honest, we're going to dive into this in a little bit. The Celtics aren't going anywhere. So you got to be real mad if you are Milwaukee, because you really got to feel like you aided Boston in getting a championship this year when you just didn't have to do what you did. So very interesting angle there. But yeah, let's go talk about the Finals MVP, because there's actually a little bit of discussion about it this year. So Jaylen Brown ends up winning Finals MVP. Now, you can see I put it on record on the channel. I had Jason Tatum winning Finals MVP going into this, but I was leaning potentially actually towards saying Brown, because Brown at that point was playing better than Tatum in the playoffs. But I wanted to go with Tatum just because I thought, if Tatum has a couple of good games, I thought the media was really going to try to boost that up. He's, I would say, still a little bit of a bigger star than Brown, at least the way he's been marketed. And the way he talks, or he's talking about by, the NBA fans in general. But Brown ended up winning the Finals MVP. He also won the ECF MVP, so he's been doing his thing. And I just kind of wanted to, dive into it a little bit, because I was honestly a little shocked seeing this. Not that I didn't think Brown could win this award. I thought he was definitely in play, but I was checking out the live odds with about maybe 5 to 10 minutes left of the game in the fourth quarter last night, and I think I could be wrong, but they had Tatum at minus 170 to win this. I think Brown was at least plus money. So whoever bet Brown real late last night, you made a quick little bag, because I really thought they were going to give it to Tatum, especially just with the way that the books were leaning, unless the books hadn't updated that, but it looked like it was as up to date as it could have been. I don't know. That was a little interesting there. So anyways, let's get into it. So Jaylen Brown won MVP, or Finals MVP. The actual stats that he had: 22 points. He shot 7 for 12, 6 rebounds and 2 assists in Game 1. Game 2, 21 points. He shot 8 for 15, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Again, another solid game. Game 3, he really showed up. 30 points, shot 12 for 22, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. And he had some clutch shots down the stretch, which really helped put Dallas away because they were coming back on that big run. Then game 4, I almost don't know if I want to discard it, but like the entire team didn't play good. 10 points, shot 3 for 12, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. I mean, not much I can really say about that. That game was just weird. It was definitely an anomaly, as we could see. But last night, 21 points, shot 7 for 23, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't necessarily have the greatest offensive game. Definitely missed a couple shots. But man, was this guy still playing defense. He was still picking up Luka and Kyrie. And it was good to watch. It really was, because it showed how much this guy wanted to win a championship. But now when we look at Tatum, let me just get his stuff up real quick. Here we go. So game 1, Tatum he had 16 points, shot 6 for 16, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. I'm going to give it to Brown on that one. Game 2, 18 points, shot again 6 for 22, had 9 rebounds, and 12 assists. Again, an overall solid game, but needs to shoot better. Gonna give it to Brown. Game 3, he stepped up as well. 31 points, 11 for 26 shooting, which could have been a little bit better, but still 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. I'm gonna say that's a great game by Tatum. I don't know if you can say he played better than Brown, but it was right there. Again, played a little bit better than Brown in that game 4, but I don't really know what to do with that. Again, 15 points, 4 for 10, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, he really came to play last night. 31 points, 11 for 24 from the field, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. Sorry about that. This tends to happen. My recording cut out a little bit in the middle of my sentence. I was pretty much just saying that Tatum was growing momentum. Like, he had been playing good for a couple games, and I thought, going into that, like, oh, maybe this will be kind of the hump that gets him to be the Finals MVP favorite. But it was really up in the air. We had to see how last night went. But Brown ended up being a good enough player, I felt like. And overall, the series, I got to give it to Brown. I thought, again, Tatum had a great couple games, the last couple games. But I also think overall, series-wise, I think Brown was the better player. Specifically, that defense I think it was game 1 on Kyrie. I mean, he did it throughout the entire series, but that one possession where he just completely boxed him, like, you knew this guy was coming to ball, and he wanted it. So I got to give credit to Jaylen Brown. And we'll see if this, creates a dialogue this offseason with, Brown won Finals MVP. Is Tatum going to feel a type of way? For me, I don't think it's going to matter. They just won a championship. So this discussion, even if it becomes a problem in the future, which I don't think it would, they still got a championship. Who cares? Number 2 is these guys have been through so much stuff together. They've been through an insane amount of brutal losses, getting to game 7s of ECFs, choking some away, losing some, getting to the finals in 22, losing to Curry. They just weren't ready. Like, this team has been battle tested. There's been rumors, or one of them going to break up, or one of them going to split up. It didn't happen, and it hasn't mattered. And these two have just, I don't know, I got to give them a lot of credit. They really have stuck together as a tight group just between those two, but then just the entire team, honestly, they feel like they really do have a lot of camaraderie, and you could just tell that they were a really selfish team. I mean, it's just crazy. They showed some statistic going in or middle of the game. I don't know if yesterday applied to it, but I could check while I'm doing this. They showed that the Celtics during the season, when they were shooting 40% from three during the season, they were 40-1 going into that, or 40-1 going into the game last night. And of course, from 3, well, they didn't shoot. They definitely did not shoot 40%. Actually, I'm just gonna make sure, but I'm making sure just because my math is, on the fly is not the greatest, but yeah, that is not 40%. Okay, I am just making sure. Oh, there's literally something down there right now that shows it. So I'm an idiot. Whatever. We might not even have this in the video. But still, like, that is an insane stat. And I don't know. I just got to give credit to those two. Like I said, kind of got sidetracked there. It's just that they stuck together. They were mature about it. They've always had each other's backs, and that's something I wish I had on the Sixers. I wish, I had a group like that, but instead I got the Ben Simmons saga. So, whatever. I'm just envious. It's a weird day because I really do enjoy watching the Celtics team, like the players, but I hate that logo so much. And I really hate, all the stuff I've been through them. I've been through a lot of battles with them. I've never seen my team come on top. And they're definitely the most hated team for me in the NBA. So it's bittersweet because, again, I kind of fell in love with watching them play, but I hate that team. And again, I have some friends that are Celtics fans. I got a brother who decided to be a Sixers fan and then switched to Celtics fan once they drafted Tatum. So this one felt a little bit more personal to me. Again, not in a good way necessarily, but like people I knew in real life were directly impacted by this, the outcome of this game. So it was interesting, but I'm not necessarily happy about it. It's just like, if I want to be someone that's going to talk about this, I also got to be, unbiased. So I'm trying to put my fandom away. But yeah, just congratulations to the whole organization. They were due. They were due for this championship, and that's why I felt that they were minimum at least going to the finals. I put a little bet on them in that one hit just to go to the finals. Again, I didn't know. I thought if they had gotten Denver, I didn't know if they were going to be able to beat Denver, but Denver got bounced. And the West, there was a lot of weird variation. And looking back realistically, Dallas had a really good series, but I think you can make the argument that they were not, well, yeah, I think you can make the argument. I don't think this is a bad take, that they were not the best team in the West this year. And, Boston thrived off that. They didn't, again, it's not their fault at all, but this was just a better matchup for them than I think playing Denver. So, yeah, shout out to the whole organization, and I gotta say shout out to Joe Mazzulla. I was one of the guys ripping him last year. He used to just not take timeouts at all. Didn't really make as many in-game adjustments as I would have liked, but I thought he had a really good season this year. He really learned from it. They've been very, again, like I said, a very tight-knit group, so obviously he's doing something good there. And I don't know. I just thought he was definitely a better coach this year, especially I really liked how he managed Porzingis' minutes throughout the series. Definitely was better with calling timeouts when he needed to call timeouts to stop certain runs. So credit to him, and just, again, credit to the entire Celtics organization. And before I wrap this up, just wanted to touch on, so Al Horford finally has a ring. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame potential. I don't know if he is. I'd have to really think about that, but finally getting a ring is going to change it for him because he's definitely had playoff success, just hasn't gotten the big one. Jrue Holiday now has 2 rings, and I think we have to think about this. I actually woke up thinking about this today. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is Jrue Holiday a Hall of Famer? Especially because he showed that he played a different role this year than he did in Milwaukee, and I just think that's really a big testament to him as a player, that he's that versatile and he's that selfless, that he will take a step back but still be a different guy. So I don't know. Great for him. Porzingis got a ring, which is crazy. Trying to think. Derek White has a ring now. That was another beautiful move by Boston. Just, again, a bunch of guys got their rings, and now kind of going forward, do I think this team can win another championship? Yeah, I do think they can. Next year is going to be weird. The West is going to be the West. All these teams are going to just try to kill each other, and only one of them is going to prevail. And then the East, we'll see what happens with Milwaukee, but they're kind of stuck. Sixers, depends on the offseason. The Knicks, we got to see what they do in the offseason, but I still don't think they could beat Boston in a 7-game series. Am I missing anyone? Miami, we don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy, and I don't even really love them, honestly, even with Jimmy. Indiana, they'll be a threat, but I don't think they can beat Boston. So Boston's going to have this conference. I think, again, I'm not saying they're guaranteed going to the finals all the time, but if you told me the Celtics went to 1 or 2 more finals in the next 4 years, not winning, but just went, yeah, I could believe it. So we got to see what happens with that. But again, to end this video, congratulations to the Boston Celtics. I hate you guys, but shout out to the players. Congrats to the fans. I got to take the high road. You guys deserved it this year. You were the best team in the NBA, and it showed all year. I've never seen a team flirt this much with being, just incompetent in the fourth quarter and blowing games away, but while also still being one of the best teams I've seen in my lifetime. So, yeah, congratulations to you guys. I had to get my last little dig at the Celtics before I ended this video, but if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, drop a comment. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I do plan on making some more videos soon. There was something else I had planned to do. I'm kind of honestly, we'll see how I go about this, but I want to start doing some NBA content when it comes to the draft. I'm not really tapped into the draft, but even maybe just recapping it. Definitely going to be tapped into free agency. It's baseball season now, so maybe I'll start talking a little bit more about baseball. We got NFL in a couple months, college in a couple months as well for football. So I'm going to figure out some stuff to do. And of course, we got the Euros as well. But yeah, so we got some stuff to talk about, and definitely stick around if you're going to be interested. And if you guys watched it this far, I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone viewing the videos the last couple of days. It really does mean a lot, and I can't wait to see us continue to grow. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.